Ramesh, where do you think the biggest bottlenecks are? We've talked about capital, we've talked about, or we haven't really talked about policy, but of course that's one part of it, access to infrastructure, tech readiness, adoption. What do you feel are the biggest bottlenecks right now?
I think the biggest bottleneck right now is capital flow. But we have invested like 1.4, 1.5 the AI for India. Saudi Arabia is doing 100 billion, right? US is already invested close to 40, 50 billion dollars, both private and public, right? So we need to unlock capital coming into AI in general, Gen AI in particular in India. The government is doing a lot already, but I think we need to unlock more forms of investment into this. Even if you look at, I work with a lot of fintechs. I focus on BFSI. In fintechs, for example, in the US, if you are doing a fintech, you typically looking at a 15x kind of a return. In India, it's 1.5x. So the money flowing into some of these startups that are doing very cutting edge technology is limited in India, right, for various reasons. And that in turn curtails innovation and what can be done. Having said that, right, there are companies like Sarvam.ai that has come up. The government has been supporting them. The government has invested in these 38,000 GPUs, right, for public sector, for startups to work with. I think that's brilliant. The second is the skill gap. So 1 out of every 5 AI engineers is of an Indian origin, right? But they don't live in India and they're not working on Indian problems. Only 2-3% of these are working in India and or working on Indian problems. So we need to solve for that also. That's, I think, one of those, retention of talent. And we always had this problem of brain drain. Now it is becoming even more apparent and obvious, right? So we'll need to figure out a way for us to retain a lot of the talent, or at least have them focus on India. And so, India is in like the global south, as we call it now, right? Where we have India and a few other nations come. And then, so these are the 2 big things from a logistic point of view. Technology, I think we'll figure it out. Okay. I think in terms of usage, it's crazy. Now, we are the second largest user of Anthropic, right? In India, in the world. After the US, China obviously doesn't disclose their numbers, but after US, it's India. So those problems will solve, but the money has to flow. Yeah.
Okay.